Welcome to a new vlog. I am filming on my new camera today for the first time. I'm trying to get used to it. The screen is in a different place on this camera, so if you notice me like looking over here to check frame and stuff, that is just because the screen is over there. This camera allows me to have interchangeable lenses, so I'm gonna try and step up my videography game. The microphone will also be different on this camera, so I do not know what the sound quality is going to be like until I go to edit this. It's going to be interesting. I really hope this camera is worth it. It cost me more money than I wanted it to, because I initially bought the camera with the lens that it came with, thinking I would just be able to vlog with it, and it turned out it was far too zoomed in. So I had to buy a new lens for the camera, which was about as much as what the actual camera itself had cost me originally. So I've paid like double what I wanted to pay for this camera. Hopefully it's going to pay off because it's going to produce lovely video content for you guys to watch. I have just thrown on some Lululemon shorts and a nice baggy t-shirt. I've thrown my hair up and I need to try and clean up the house a bit. I need to do some laundry. I also have like work stuff to do. So I thought I would take you along with me. Do more of a lifestyle / reading vlog. I've noticed I really enjoy watching reading vlogs where there's lifestyle content included, so I'm gonna try and do that a bit more. I do, however, have a list as long as my arm of DIY jobs that need doing around the house, just like things that I want sorting, fixing, repainting, etc. But I can't do any of that right now because my house is an absolute mess. So first job on the list is to try and tidy the house up a bit. We went away last month. I've not unpacked my suitcase. It's been like a month. Does anyone else do that? Does anyone else, like, when you get back from holiday, just, like, stuff the case? I don't care. I'm not interested. I don't want to see it. I don't want to do the washing. I think today on my to-do list, I want to empty the suitcase and do the washing. We will talk books in a little while because I have been reading my July TBR and I have also picked up some other stuff that wasn't on my TBR. I haven't finished my TBR yet. I think I have about 3 books on the go. One's an audiobook, 2 physical books. So I will talk about those in a little bit, but for now I'm gonna get on with some cleaning and I will check in with you in a little while. I have this big bottle for water because I'm really bad at drinking and I'm really not doing well. I think I'm at 9 AM and it's like 3 PM. So that's not going so well today. In fact, I've done really bad like the last few days with that. I'm really dehydrated. I just forget to drink. I feel like I don't have what other people have where my body tells me that I need to drink. The only time I notice is once I already have a headache because I'm dehydrated. Okay, so books-wise, I am reading The Diary of Anne Frank on ebook, which is on my TBR. I'm about 20% into it, and it is what it is. It's a teenage girl's diary. Most of it so far has just been Anne talking about situations, talking about people, and how she doesn't like certain people or how they behave. This is in the secret annex that the family was in, and they are with another family, and she doesn't like the members of the other family. She's also not getting on well with her mother and her sister. They are obviously confined in a very small space, so they are clashing a little bit. The only person she seems to really enjoy being around is her father. I started reading that after I had finished This Was Our Pact, which is a graphic novel by Ryan Andrews. Really enjoyed this, gave it 5 stars. The artwork in this book is absolutely beautiful. I love the story. I would say it's more vibes than story. There's not much plot, but there is some plot. This is more like just if you want like a warm-hearted, cozy, just really cute read. Something to like totally switch your brain off to and just like enjoy and live in the moment. Obviously I then moved on to Anne Frank's diary and I needed something to just break it up a little bit, and I was in a fantasy mood after finishing the graphic novel, and I didn't have any fantasy in my TBR this month, so I decided to pick up The Drowned Woods by Emily Lloyd Jones. This is the Illumicrate cover. So I have this I'm on chapter 6. I'm about 80 pages into this book. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking the characters. I'm liking where the plot is going. It sort of seems like we're going to get a heist style plot, similar to like Six of Crows. And we just have these three characters. They're quite interesting. One of them is a woman who's taken away from her parents when she was young, and she's practically been raised by this guy who is effectively a cutthroat / assassin for the prince of the kingdom. And he's basically taught her a load of things whilst she has basically been imprisoned. She did, however, escape, and he has also decided to leave the crown. So there's an interesting dynamic between the two. On top of that, we also have what I assume will be our romantic interest who has been introduced, and neither of them know this guy. So there's a lack of trust there. So very interesting dynamic between the three characters. This is my US edition books, which I'm very excited about. So I'll probably film an unboxing for this at some point today, hopefully. I got distracted yesterday and stopped filming because I decided to have a peek into my parcel and several of the books were damaged. So I then spent my afternoon emailing various companies / people that I had purchased from. It was not a fun time. Back to what I was reading, we talked about In the Drowned Woods, we talked about Anne Frank's Diary. The third book I'm reading is Final Girls by Riley Sager. I'm listening to this on audiobook. I'm about 75% of the way through this now. And so far, I wouldn't really say it's blowing me away. It's just okay. It's not really exciting. I'm not that gripped, but I am slightly intrigued. We are following our main character, who is a final girl and has been dubbed this by the media after surviving a series of murders out at a cottage with her friends. The book kind of starts after all that has already happened, and throughout the book we are getting some flashbacks to the time that she spent there leading up to the murders. There is another character that came into play a little while into the book, and she is also a final girl. We've just got an inkling that this character seems to suspect that our main character, final girl, potentially had something to do with the murders, or that something's not quite right. So I'm kind of intrigued to see where this is going. Is she involved? I'm pretty sure there was a guy that was pinned for these murders. So I'm assuming the reason we're getting the flashbacks is because it's going to reveal what actually happened on that night, which I am interested to hear. I do have this book in hardback, and I'm hoping I can unhaul it after I've read this, because I can't imagine I'd want to reread a thriller. I feel like thrillers are the sort of books that you read once and you don't need to go back to them. I do have Scribd at the moment, so I'm thinking I might try and quickly read through some other thrillers that are on my shelf so that I can unhaul and make space, because I've run out of space on my shelves. I'm starting to have piles of books around the house that there is no room for, and I have a lot of pre-orders and I still have monthly book subscriptions. The situation is dire. I did get a delivery from Boots yesterday, which I haven't had a chance to open yet, so I figured I'd just quickly go for my Boots haul. I purchased some new hair dye. I used the L'Oreal Cool Cream in Ultralight Ash Brown. I got some vitamins. I got some zinc tablets. I think they're good for your skin. Iron tablets, and I got some magnesium as well, which I think is good for like hydration when you're exercising. I then purchased, I love this foot cream. This is like the only foot cream I use. This makes your feet feel so soft. I also have one of those, I've forgotten what the brand is. They were like on YouTube adverts, maybe like, I'm going to show my age here, somewhere between 5 to 10 years ago. They were like always advertised on YouTube. It was like a sponsorship that everyone ended up doing. And it was those electronic foot files. I have one of those. Electronic. I sound old. Oh my gosh. I got 2 bottles of this because I emptied a bottle. There are very few products that I will actually use until they are empty before I just give up using them. I heard this is good. I bought the Maybelline Sky High Mascara in brown. So I also got the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Gel Liner in brown. my go-to toothpaste, Sensodyne Whitening Repair. They had like a bundle offer. So I got that. And then Double Base. I hate to moisturize every day. I don't do it. And sometimes I let my skin get too dry, or like in winter in particular, I get very dry skin on my legs. This stuff is brilliant. I also feel like it really helps if you have like keratosis pilaris on your arms. This really helps like reduce it. Another product that I've had several bottles of, so I got that again. Hair dye, same thing. This is my go-to hair dye now. I'm gonna go downstairs now, get ready for my reading session. I'm gonna have tea with Andy. Andy is currently cooking salmon, rice, and vegetables, like kind of like a Donberry thing like you'd get from Wagamama, but with salmon instead of duck. That's what I'm having for tea. I'm very hungry. You wanna come up? Yeah. We have a beautiful Oscar. You're a good boy. Yeah? You're a good boy. You ready to go downstairs? Yes. I need to round out this vlog, so I just have a few updates regarding some of the books I've been reading. Starting with The Final Girls, I finished this. I ended up giving it 3 stars. It was okay. For me, it was a bit basic bitch horror film vibes. It seemed to have one of those very predictable endings like you would see in Scream or, I don't know, other cheesy horror films. It was just a bit predictable for me. By the time it got to the twist, it was very, very obvious who the bad person was. I finished it and I felt very bleh. So I dived in with another graphic novel to break things up a little bit, and I read Snapdragon. This was a fun time. I liked the artwork. It's very, very colourful. Has a little bit of magic in there. Has a little bit of pro-LGBTQ. And it was just a nice, pleasant read. I do like a good little cute graphic novel to break things up a bit when I'm reading. So I very much enjoyed this. I gave this one 4 stars. I didn't finish The Diary of Anne Frank. I will be carrying it over to my next TBR in August. I also completely forgot about Hyde. I haven't touched it. I completely forgot it was even on my list. So I'm carrying that over as well. And then I did finish The Drowned Woods by Emily Lloyd Jones. I ended up giving it 3 stars. At the start of the book, like the first portion of the book, I was feeling like it was going to be a 4-star. I was invested. It felt good. I was interested in the characters. And then as the book went on, the plot kind of went down a route that I wasn't really expecting. It just didn't do it for me. I felt like the pacing was a bit off. I thought the majority of the book was going to be taken up by this main theme that the book seemed to be pointing at. But then when it actually came to that part, it was over so quickly, and that was the bit I was really excited for. I just felt a bit let down. And then, like, the actual plot twists, I was just kind of like, oh. It wasn't very exciting for me. It didn't go the way I wanted it. I thought I was going to get some kind of Six of Crows type scenario, and that is not what I got. that's my roundup of the books I have been reading. I am about to start a new vlog straight after this. I am going to be doing a little bit of rejigging in my studio / book room. So if you like watching things like that, maybe check out the next vlog. If you have any feedback for the vlogs or what you would like to see in the vlogs, please let me know in the comments. And as always, if you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.